Oh dear, that is, honestly, I thought it was a bit warm earlier on this morning, but I tell you, that's embarrassing. And the word passion was used earlier on, and it's an industry with which we use that word very often. Passionate for radio, and I loved radio long before I would have known that word. That I was looking at one of those big shaving mirrors this morning in the bathroom of the hotel, those huge, big, scary ones. And I looked at it and I thought, you know, if ever they're going to give you an award, it's getting near to you. It's been, one of the names you mentioned was Bill Anderson, and the great singer-songwriter Bill Anderson, who did indeed write Five Little Fingers, a big hit in Ireland for Frankie McBride. He said to me, Trevor, if you can get a hobby that you can be good enough at that people will pay you to do it, then you're on the road to happiness. So 40 years of happiness must then be mine, because I've been doing what I love to do, and still people say, do you still enjoy it? And yes, I do, and I still get nervous before every program, but not nearly as nervous as I am this morning. It's amazing. But you mentioned Dolly, and people do ask about Johnny Cash and Dolly, and Dolly was incredible because I was in the music room of her house in Nashville, and I was just about to interview her, and I always feel it's nice to say something before you actually say welcome to the microphone of Downtown Radio, whatever. And I said, Dolly, it's about 31 or so years since I first met you and interviewed you. And I said, you know, it's great to be back to see you again. So anyway, well, hi Trevor. So put the microphone on, and she said, well, hi Trevor, haven't we done well? It must be 30 years since we met. Well, you know, that's why she's Dolly. You just open the fridge door. You know. There she goes. And you think, why can I not think of things like that? You know, and you immediately. You're probably supposed to be thinking of your follow-on question, but you immediately think, you know, God, how's that going to sound to the listeners? 30 years and only part remembers our big tape. So talk about putting someone at ease. Yesterday, I had one of the happiest days in a long time with my partner Vi. She and I walked around Dublin. It was a lovely warm afternoon and evening, really more like an August than a September one. And I had many holidays as a child, from I was told 3 years old, right through to my teen years, holidays in Dublin. And it's amazing looking at some of the buildings, some of the spaces where buildings were, and some new ones and whatever. But I have some great memories of Dublin. And my early days of listening to radio were indeed mostly the offshore stations, Radio Caroline in particular, which served Ireland as an island, north and south, and part of the north of England. And before that, though, it would have been Athlone, as it was called then, Radio Ireland, before we got to know it as RTE. And there used to be shows on at lunchtime, sponsored shows then, that we even had on in our house. My parents listened to something called the Kennedys of Castle Ross, I think it was, which was kind of an Irish Archers way. But after or before that, there were music segment shows of a quarter of an hour, and that's where I would have heard of Big Tom and Brian Call, again legends that I was later to meet and become friendly with. So a lot of my early years were spent down here and listening to radio stations here, and it is actually the word that I would never really think of using, but it is awesome that now it's the the island of Ireland, which is recognising and honouring me today, which is very humbling, which is another word I was determined not to use this morning. But I use it genuinely because I was doing a quick interview for television out there, and it was after I'd walked past the names and the photographs of some of the great and the good in broadcasting. After today, I can't say that. Wonderful. But names like Gay Byrne and Larry Gogan and Downtown's own Candy Devine, who started in Downtown Radio the same day as I did, and Candy was honoured year before last, wasn't it? It was last year. I think it was last year. But it is lovely that it's an all-Ireland thing, that a lot of you may never have heard of Downtown Radio until today, and we're right across Northern Ireland, and it's particularly nice that the whole of the island of Ireland recognises what we do up there, and we were very lucky from day one, I think, as well as whatever professionalism and success we possessed, that we did come along and provide something nobody knew exactly was going to be required or listened to. So we did take a chance, and I don't think we thought of it that way. I think we did go on air hoping, wishing, and maybe taking for granted a little bit of success. So myself and my colleagues, I feel very proud to have this recognition, and thank you all very much for how nice you've been to me this morning, making me feel very, very welcome. And all those words that we do live in an award speech society. Sometimes the speeches get remembered long after the award has gone. But I do have to use those same words as honoured, humbled, and I just like to say that I mean them as genuinely as anyone ever did. So thank you very much, radio. Thank you.